Hello everyone, welcome to our channel BISP Solution. Let's start our today's session. So this is our today's topic, types of purchase order. So we have three types of purchase order in our application, like standard purchase order, blanket purchase agreement, and contract purchase agreement. Right. So let's check one by one in our session, today's session. So this is the type of purchase order in our application, and we have the standard purchase order. So this standard purchase order is one time purchase of various items. Whenever you want to create a single time one time purchase of item, so you can create the standard purchase order, right, with the details of goods, services, and estimate cost, quantities, delivery schedules, and accounting distributions. These are the required field, required details of for these standard purchase order, right? And if you want to create the blanket purchase orders, so we have to require the details of goods and services, quantities, price, and breaks, and terms and condition. In this blanket purchase order, we don't need to details about the delivery schedule and no ship, right? So this is the blanket purchase agreement, and the last is contract purchase agreement. In this purchase agreement, we have to require the agreement related information, terms and condition, and the amount, right? No need to details about the goods and services, item number, item quantities, delivery schedules. So these are not required field for this contract purchase agreement, right? So let's start with the first, this standard purchase agreement. We have already seen our previous session how to create the standard purchase order and all that. So let's check one more times, right? So start from the purchase order. We will cover the blanket purchase agreement, and at the end we will touch this contract purchase agreement, right? So let's start. So we have the application, right? So start from the standard purchase agreement. So we have to define the approvals rules for this standard purchase agreement. So as we know that how to create the rules for approval rules for the purchase order. So click on this setting and action and click on the setup and maintenance. Click on this set task list. Go to the implementation project. Go from your project, that is SCM, right? Now let's search. The task name is manage purchasing document, right? So we have the approval group, requisition approval, and we have the manage purchasing document approval. If you want to define the rules for our purchase order, so in manage purchasing document approval we have to set this rule, and if you want to set the rules for the manage requisition, for the requisition purchase requisition, you have to set on this task, right? So click on this purchasing document approvals, right? So we don't have any enable rule. So first we have to enable the post approval, post consensus, and the parallel consensus. So select the node, click on this enable first, it gets enabled, and then click on this edit rule. So this is the right method to define the rules in our purchase order, right? So let's define first. It is standard standard purchase order rule, right? Click OK. Right. Now let's select the card and click on this add condition. So we have to define two condition, one for the our business unit and second one is for the purchase order. So whenever a purchase order is created under this defined business unit, so it will be approved on the basis of this rule, right? So let's define our procurement view, procurement view and document header, right? So this condition having the operators is equal. The value is our business unit, that is US1 business unit, right? Okay. Now let's add one more on the below of this condition. So in this condition, we are going to define our document. So document type and document header. So this is basis on the purchase order, right? We will create later on the blanket on the basis of blanket and the contract purchase agreement, right? So right now purchase order. Now let's define the condition. Sorry, the condition is defined, not clear. Define the action. So we are going to define the automatic for this, right? The standard for this standard purchase order. We are going to define the automatic, right? System approval, right? No issue. Click on save and close. Now we have to deploy this rule. So right, now let's create our standard purchase order. So click OK and done. So and done. Now how to create the purchase order? Click on this navigator, go to the purchasing, procurement and click on this purchase order. So we are going to create the standard purchase order. Wait for a while. It will redirect to the purchase order page where we create the purchase order. Right. Click on this task list and click on this create order. Right. So this is the purchase order, is nothing but a standard purchase order, right? This is our procurement view or requisitioning view, and let's define our supplier. Tell INC. So it will fetch the information, the supply information, the site and contract. Right, so click on this create icon. Right. Wait for a while. So this is the basic information of this purchase order, and you can also define the description for that. And let's uncheck this pay on receipt, and we can add the item. You can set the payment term is net 30, net 45, net 60, immediate, right? As per your uh, requirement, right? On the basis of your business transactions, right? So this is our item. So let's define the quantity. Let's define 50 quantity. I'm going to take with the 100 USD for each quantity of this item data 1001 location from date to date. Let's click on this review and column and show all, so that it will show you all the hidden attribute, right? So it will show you all the attributes. The quantity is 50. Yeah, the discount type, now location, organization, requested delivery date is not mandatory field, but we have to select, otherwise it will show you the error. What is the destination type? You can select as per your requirement. Suppose we select the inventory, so we have the matching, two-way matching, no issue. Now we have to remove this agreement. This is not an agreement, this is a simple standard purchase order, so we have to remove this. Later on you will select on this portion the uh, bracket purchase or agreement, the and the contract purchase agreement, and how it reflect on the quantity and the price in our purchase order, right? So no need to worry about. So click on this submit, so that you can uh, send the information to the receipt department, right? It will generate the purchase order number, that is US 164623. This is right. So this is our purchase order number. So let's copy the order number, click OK. Now we have to add this purchase order number. That is our purchase order number. Now let's go to this task list, click on this manage order and search for our order number, right? Search it. So it will be approved by the system. So right now is pending approval. So on the basis of the rules, it should be approved by the system. It will take time. See, it's approved, right? This request is approved by the system, right? So this is our purchase order, and click OK. Now let's create the receipt for this purchase order. So click on this navigator and go to the supply chain execution. Under this execution, we have the inventory management. Click on that. Right. Now click on the task list and go to the this receipt. Now click on this receive expected shipment. So we have to search by the order number. Search on that. Now let's check the on and quantity in our application. So how can you now done. First we will check the on and quantity from here. Not let's check no issue. Let's check from here. Go to inventory, manage item quantity. I think we have the 500 quantity in our application. So let's check one more time so that it will reflect after we have performed the purchase order agreement. So select record and click on this search icon. So we have the 500 quantity, no issue. Click on that done. Again go to the receipt portion, click on this task list, click on this navigator, go to the receipt and click on this receive expected shipment. Right. Search for our order number, purchase order number, and select our record and click on this receive. We are going to receive this order, the purchase order with quantity 50, and the document number you can see over here, right? So from here you can move, you can take the item material from supplier side to either in our receiving area or in inventory area. You depends on your need. If you want to, we have the shortage of the shortage of the items and materials, so we can quickly move the item from the supplier to directly into our inventory. So let's perform this task. Right. So 50, and this is destination type. Let's select our so inventory. You can also go with the receiving area, but right now we no need to perform this action, right? So go with the inventory. Now let's create this receipt. So it will create a receipt when we click on this submit icon, right? So in previously we have the 500 quantity. Now let's check this receipt number, this copy and just paste it over here. This is copy, right? Click OK and we have done from this receive expected shipment. Right, so we have directly take and receive, you can say we have directly received the item from supplier to in our inventory, so that it will reflect in our application. You can check in our inventory. So go to the item quantities and search our Tata 1001. It will not be right. Search. It's not the right way. So I'll search, click OK. Right, now search. Right, we have received 550 quantity directly into our inventory. without going to our receiving area, right? We skip the receiving area, right? So this is our standard purchase order. Now let's move to our next purchase order, that is blanket purchase agreement. So first we have to create the agreement. After that we will create the purchase order based on this information of blanket purchase agreement. So first we are first we have to define the rules for this. So click on this navigator, define the rules for this. So this is our implementation project. So we are going to create the rule for this blanket purchase agreement so that we can define either it can be approved by the system or it can be approved by the approval group, single approval, multi approval. You can say the job approval, hierarchical approval, right? Based on the uh, right, no issue. So we have manage right purchasing document. So right. So we have the this is purchasing document approval. Right. So now go to again on this. We have the manage purchasing document approval. Click on this. Go to task. So we have already created the rules for the standard. Now let's uh, change the rules for the blanket purchase agreement. So this node is already enabled. Let's edit this rule. Now we have the standard purchase order is no, let's add one more for this blanket purchase agreement. So this is blanket purchase agreement, right? No issue. And we have rule. Click OK. So purchase agreement and click on this add condition. So again, we have two type of condition based on the our business unit. So this is procurement BU and document header, and our value is US1. Now okay, now you can add into the below of this request, either you can add another, right? So our next attribute is document type, document header values, and we have the blanket purchase agreement. Click OK. Now let's define our action. Who can approve this request? So we have already created these approval groups. Now let's add these approval groups, that is Tata 001 and underscore AG1, right? So click OK. So this is our approval groups who can approve this request. So and save and close. So first we will create the agreement. Based on this agreement, we will create the standard purchase order, right? So this is our process. Click on this deploy. Right, so change was deployed, right? So we have done with the rules for this uh, like agreement. Now let's create the blanket purchase agreement, right? So go to the uh, navigator and we have the purchase agreement. You can go with this and you can go with the purchase order. No issue, both are landed on the same page. So click on this task list and now go to the create order. Now let's change the style. So what is our style? And we have to search our what is the style is blanket. It should be reflected. Right. So it's not reflected over here. Should be sorry, we have to create the agreement. So click on this agreement. Right. So this is our style blanket purchase agreement. And what is our view? Business unit 1 is our view. And we have to define the our supplier. So this is supply information. And this is our buyer. Let's click on this create. So this is our agreement. We are going to create agreement for this purchase order. Later on we will create the standard purchase order based on this agreement. How this agreement reflect on the uh, amount on the basis of the quantity, right? We'll see. So what is the agreement amount? Suppose we have the 5 lakh is the agreement amount. So and what is the amount limit? You can set over here. You can set the minimum amount limit, like we have to 1,000 is 1,000, 10,000 is the minimum amount we have to purchase over here. So we can define the amount limit and description over here, right? And we have this start date and date. You can also define over here. So it's not mandatory. We'll see later on. And we have the term. Let's uncheck this beyond receipt, right? And now let's add line. So in this blanket purchase agreement, we have to know about the item information, right? Suppose we have the item is Tata 1001. So click on that and select it, right? And suppose we have the don't have the supply name, and let's click on this view column show all. This 100, no issue. 100 is not defined. Let's define the 1000, right? The minimum, right? No, it's a no, it's not a minimum. It's a price of each item, right? So based on the item we have to define over here. So 10 item is the minimum item, so that it will reflect the 1000 amount, 1000 USD for the purchase order, right? So again, click on this view, go to columns, go to show all, right? No issue. Relevance, supplier item, price, expiry date. We have the agreement quantity, agreement amount. You can define over here, and no need to vote this one from date till date, right? No issue. Now, what is the beauty of this blanket purchase agreement? Uh, you can break the price of this item. So how can it will perform? So click on this edit icon. So how much price you have defined? Suppose we have the 100, right? So on the basis of 100, we have to define 10 minimum quantities so that our minimum criteria is fulfilled, right? So click on this add in the break price, right? So let's define our shift organization. So it would look like the location, no need to, right? So if we have the 10 quantity and minimum 10 quantity, right? So if you order 10 quantity, 20 quantity, so uh, I will show you, I will give you the price, the unit price of this agreement. So I will give you 295, right? Right. So it's a 5% discount. Suppose we have add one more, right? So the second one, let's select this CTL. Now, suppose if you have uh, order 30 quantity, so I will give you the discount is 90, right? So this is you can break the price on the basis of quantity. If you more quantity, you will get the high discount, right? So this is a our price breaking concept in blanket purchase order, right? We should click OK for saving this break line price breaking, right? Now let's go to the our control. So we have the control. We have the different type of control, like this is our requisitioning view, purchase site, ship to location, bill to PU, bill to location, right? It should be enabled from here, right? And you can add more views, right? If you want to set this this purchase agreement for a different view, you can set over here. Right? So now go to the contract term. You can also define over here the terms of this contract, right? You can add over here. Now, like you can check the who can approve this request. Let's check. So we have easy to check who can approve this request. We have defined the approval group Tata 1001. This is the user, this is the implementation user who can approve this blanket purchase agreement, right? Approval request. So this is what blanket purchase agreement number 52282. You have to note down. See, the Tata 001 is the user who can approve the request, right? So let's click on the submit, and we have to log in with this. So we have to, no issue. Let's copy this blanket purchase agreement. Let's copy it, right? I think we have missed 2 digit, right? Okay. So how can, let's sign out and sign in. First we'll check the manage agreement. You can manage the agreement. So let's copy it 52282. Copy this one and search for the agreement. Sorry. So this is status is a pending approval. Right, search again. So it will be approved by the Tata 001. So we have to sign out from this user. Let's sign in to the Tata 001. Tata 001. Not receive any information, any notification. I think it will take few seconds. It should be reflected, right? It should be received the notification of approving this blanket purchase agreement. You can also check this in this no, because I have two session. Sorry. You have to wait for a while. Yes, it received a notification. You can see over here. Right, so we have the blanket purchase agreement 52282. You can match from here 52282 submitted by the Casey Brown with the maximum limit of the amount 5 lakh. So either you can reject it, you can approve it, right? So click on this approve, right? right? So let's move to like our implementation user, that is go sign out, say confirm, right? We have the case the brown, and we have the credential. From here we have the date. This is copy this one. Now let's paste it over here. Right now, this user also received the notification of approving the request from this uh, the concerned person, right? See, the blanket agreement is implemented, right? Now you can use this agreement to creating the standard purchase order, right? So now let's create one purchase order. Now go to the procurement and click on this purchase order. Right. So let's click on this navigator and go to the create order so that we can create the purchase order. So this is our style purchase order, and we have to select our BU. We have the supplier line C, right? And click on this create. Right. So this is the basic information you can see over here. Now click on this pay on receipt and check this pay on receipt. Right. Now let's add the item over here. Add the line, this transaction line. Now let's add the item. This is starter 1001. Okay. Right. So now let's go to the quantity. Let's define first we remove the purchase agreement. This is purchase agreement. You can check 52282. Let's define after some time and let's check first how to reflect this agreement on this purchase order, right? Suppose we have the quantity is like we have the quantity is 10, right? So what is the amount? So it will display the 1000, right? No issue. Clear? When we define the base price is 100 and the quantity is 10 without any agreement, right? Without any agreement, right? So it is not reflecting any the total amount. This total order is 1000. Now let's define the agreement over here. So what is the amount value of this agreement? 52282. So I'm going to define 52282. So this is our agreement. So whenever select this, and you can check the impact of this purchase, you can say the blanket purchase agreement. So when we define the 100, so it will not define the, when you define the 20, right? So it should be reflected to, yes, you can see base price is 95. We have already defined it in the base price, right? So it is reflected from the this blanket purchase agreement, right? When you delete from here and go to the amount again, and you can change the base amount is 100. Suppose it's 100, so it reflect uh, 2000 order, right? The amount is 2000, right? And whenever 2000, and whenever we select the purchase agreement is 52282, so it will change the amount to the basis of the agreement, right? And change 95 is the because we have defined the 5% discount for this agreement, right? No issue. So this is our the value of this blanket purchase agreement, right? This is a simple blanket purchase agreement in our application, right? Now we have to define the requested delivery date, so it will not display any error. And you can also define the promising date over here, right? Now you can check who can approve this request. Click on this manage approval. I think we have defined the standard purchase agreement is system approval. Let's check. Yes, the system approval. Let's click on this submit. Because we have already defined this rule earlier in our standard purchase agreement, who can approve this request. So at that time we had defined the system, right? So total amount released against the source agreement in order is less than 1000, right? So 10,000. So it will it is less than our minimum amount. So we have to right, we have to increase the amount of this. We have 10,000 is less, right? So let's define our 200 quantity, so it should be more than 10,000, right? See, more than 10,000 is 18,000, right? No issue. Now let's click on this submit, right? So we have seen the minimum quantity and the maximum quantity also. So this is our purchase order number. Let's copy it and let's paste it in our blanket purchase agreement. This is our PO, right? PO number is save it. Now save it and go to the manage. Go to the manage orders. So we have the order number and remove this one and search for the order number. 24 is our order number and it will approved by the system. What is the problem? Sorry, we are not the PU, right? Right. So this is pending approval. Click on this search. Again, search. Search again. See, this is approved by the system, right? So this is a basic concept and the about the blanket purchase agreement, right? So now let's move. Our third concept is this one. Sorry, this contract purchase agreement. So in this contract purchase agreement, we need no need to define our goods and services and quantities, delivery schedules, promising date, right? We have only defined our agreement related information like how much your maximum limit, how your minimum limit of ordering, right? Terms and condition and the amount, right? So let's this application. So start from the rules. Let's refresh it. We have also defined the rules for this agreement. After that, we will create the requisition for this, right? So again, go with the manage implementation project. This is SCM, is implementation project 13. Search for our manage manage like we have the purchasing, should be yes, purchasing document approval. So let's go with this one, manage purchasing document approval, right? Again, go with this already enable node, click on this edit rule. Now let's add one more for our contract purchase agreement rule. Click OK. Right. Select the record and click on this add condition. Now what is our attributes? That is procurement, sorry, procurement PU, document header, and we have to define our business unit, that is US1. Click OK. Now add one more on the below of this condition. So in that we have defined our like document type and document header, and define our contract purchase agreement, right? Okay. Now let's define our condition, sorry, action. Who can approve this request? So on the approval group, that is Tata 001 is approve this request. You can add as per your requirement who can approve. Like we can approve by the job approval, single approval, supervisor approval. As per your requirement you can select, but right now we will go with the approval group because we have already created this approval group we heard. Let's click on OK. So our group is ready. Send close. Now deploy this rule. So we have the multiple rules, and we have already run this multiple rules at the same time, right? So now let's deploy this one. Thank you. Okay, now let's go to the our purchase order, and let's create one more agreement. Click on this task list, go to the create agreement. We have on the contract purchase agreement. This is contract purchase agreement, and we have the BS US1 business unit. We have to define our supplier, right? So we have on this Dell, right? Let's create. Right. So this is our US1 business unit, and this is our agreement amount. What is our agreement amount? You can define, like we have the 1 lakh is our agreement amount, and what is our minimum release amount? So suppose we have the 1000, right? And you can see over here there is no any transaction line. You cannot add any transaction line because this purchase agreement is not required any item related information, item related details over here. No need to worry about. Okay, so now go to the control. You can add more business unit for the same contract purchase agreement, right? No issue. US1 business unit, US1 business unit, right. Now let's check our who can approve this request. You can check from here so that we can log in with this implementation user and approve this request. So Tata 1001 is approved this request. Now click on this submit. So this agreement is submitted, and this is our contract purchase agreement number. Now let's paste it over here so that we can easily identify this number, right? Copy this one and click OK. So now go to the manage approvals, manage agreements, and you can check the approval request. So what is the agreement number? This is agreement number. Remove this and search for this agreement number, right? Right. So again, this US1 search. So the status is pending approval. Now we have to log in with the other user so that we can approve this request. So log out. Let's log in. So we have the name is Tata 001, and we have the password for this implementation user. Sign in. Right, so we have received one request. That is our contract purchase agreement, right? It's submitted by the KC Brown with the 1 lakh USD is the limit amount of this agreement, right? Let's approve. Now let's create purchase order, and we'll check how the purchase order is created, or you can create the requisition of this. So let's sign out, confirm, and let's log in with the KC Brown. Our This is our credential. So this user also receive one notification against this, uh, we don't have received any. Wait for a while. For your information, this user will receive, right? Wait for a while. Let's check. Right, so this is our contract purchase agreement, and this is approved, right? This implemented by the concerned person, right? Now let's create one purchase order against this agreement. Again, go to the procurement, go to the purchase order, and we have create one standard purchase order. So click on this task list. And click on this create order. Select our business unit. This is our Dell INC. Right. So click on this create. So this is our purchase order number. This is 25, right? Basic information over here. Payable receipt. You can change the payment term. Let's create on the line transaction line so that we can add the agreement, right? So let's take the item, this data. Okay, right. So this is our item, and let's define our quantity. Suppose we have the 50 quantity, right? And based on the 50 quantity, it should be more than 1000, so that it will be submitted by the application. And we have the source agreement is 82, but we have the 83 is our purchase agreement, contract purchase agreement. So let's change this agreement with this contract purchase agreement, right? So wait for a while. So we have the agreement. Yes, this is contract purchase agreement, and we have the requested quantity we have to define, right? And we have the base price is 90, right? No issue. So let's check who can approve this request. System. The system will approve this request, right? So let's cancel now. Then you can check the other information. So this is, you can view the PDF. This information you can view in the PDF form. You can take the action like validate, duplicate, delete, right? And you can apply the discount over here, right? You can save and close. Let's click on submit. If it will get any error, you can rectify for that, right? The total amount release source agreement in this order is less than, it is not reflecting, right? So our agreement is not taking over here, right? You can see whenever you create any purchase order against this agreement, you cannot create, because we select the agreement like 83, select it, but it is not reflected over here, right? So go to cancel out. Let's create the requisition for that. So at that time you can provide this. Let's yes. Now go to the requisition, and requisition having the let's check, no issue. We have click on this navigator and go to the purchase requisition under the procurement. So this is not our item. Now click on this more task. Let's check our updated requisition lines. Browse detail, we have the expense, no issue. With inventory, this is our charge account. Now click on save and close. Right, click on this more, click on this enter requisition line so that we can create the requisition. Let's create item. Okay. Go with the supplier, and here we can define our agreement, right? So let's define our agreement. So we have the agreement is 822 52283 52283. Let's search. Yes, 52283. Select OK. Right. So this is our agreement, and this is our item, and you can change the information as per your requirement, like what is our destination and deliver to location, right? Charge account. Now click on this add to cart. You must enter the value. Sorry, suppose we have the 100 and 1000 is the minimum quantity. So let's check one scenario. Let's click on this add to cart. It should be display one error. No, it's not displaying error. So click on this task and click on this review, and let's check who can approve this request. So system will approve this request. No issue. Submit. Let's check it will display any error or not. I think we have defined. No issue. So this is our request. Let's copy it. Okay, and click on this manage requisition. So where is the requisition number? This is our requisition, and search our requisition number. This is our pending approval. Let's click on search. Search and search. It should be approved by the system because we have already seen in the manage approval, right? So wait for a while. I think it will take time. Let's check the notification if any rejected or there is no any notification for the rejection. No issue. Let's check it out. So it will take time, I think, because system will approve this request. Right. See, system will approve. System approved this request. You can see the status is approved, right? No issue. Done. Right. So this is ours. Now you can convert this requisition into a purchase order. So click on this requisition. Sorry, navigator. Go to the purchase order and click on this task list. Click on this process requisitioning. Process requisitions. And search for our requisition over here. Sorry, yes, this is our requisition number, roller bearing, right? Now select a record and click on this add to builder, add to document builder, so that we can convert this requisition into a purchase order, and we'll see our contract purchase agreement. So this is our source agreement, right? This is our contract purchase agreement, right? So click OK. Right. So click on create. So we have already defined the 1000 is the minimum quantity, minimum amount. But right now we have the 100 amount, 100 USD. So let's check, is there any it will create any issues or not, right? Let's check. Let's take one scenario for that. So this is our PO, right? Okay, right. So we have the quantity one. Base amount is 100 and no issue. I can check the, yes, this is our source agreement, right? Now let's check who can approve this request. After that we can click on the submit and we'll see uh, the agreement reflection, the minimum quantity, sorry, minimum amount and maximum amount, right? So the system will approve this request, no issue, cancel out and click on this submit. It should be display one error, right? This is how I'm talking about that. The total amount released against the source agreement 83 in this order is less than the required, right? Is 1000 USD we have already defined in our agreement. So this is the minimum amount we have to define. We have to order the more than 1000, right? So in that case it will create the contract purchase agreement, right? Now let's check. We have the option to change the quantity, like we define the 100 quantity, and we have the amount. No, amount is the 100. No issue. We have changed the quantity. Yes, we have the base amount. We can also change, like we have the 50. You can change. Let's check the reflection. Yes, you can change. Now our order is 5000, right? Against this purchase agreement, the blanket purchase agreement, you can this is our source agreement, right? Now let's click on submit. Now then let's check it's created or not. 26 is our purchase order. see how the purchase order is submitted. It's 26. We have, yes, we have noted down this one. Now let's go to click on this task list, go to the manage order, and let's search our order. So we use this one, and let's remove this one, and the order is 26, right? Search for that. Right, so our status is pending approval. Now click on search again. Right, so again this pending approval, click on the search, and again click on the search. Yes, this approved, right? So this is how you can create the requisition based on this contract purchase agreement, and after that we can convert this requisition into purchase order, and you can create the purchase order based on the agreement, this contract purchase agreement, right? So we have covered all the types of purchase order. Hope you understand all the things in this purchase order, how to create the agreements, how to create the rules under this agreement, right? How to create the standard purchase order, right? So thanks for attending this session. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.